to Fireside Stories.
Fireside. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Welcome back to Firehouse Stories, where we tell behind-the-scenes stories of firefighters and things associated with the fire service. My name is Bob, and this is Doug. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee and sit in and have a listen to the story. We've been talking about Doug's dad, and I got a story about Doug's dad. Doug's dad, in the room where we all congregated, there was a long table, and it was made of, those folding tables. It was made of 3 of them end to end with chairs around it, because there was about 17 to 19 of us at the station.
The room you congregated in was called the kitchen, Bob.
Well, not really the kitchen, but
go ahead.
But anyways, he always sat at the very end, far in from where the kitchen was, because that's where the TV was. And he'd always sit like that, leaning on the table, looking at the TV, being in the thick of things, but being able to ignore stuff if he had to, because he was a platoon chief. So he was on holidays one time and brought back this box full of Toby mugs.
Yep.
Firefighter Toby mugs. And he ran into a salesperson or something at one of the campgrounds he was in. And the guy sold him a box of Firefighter Toby mugs. So he brought it back, and of course everybody's looking. And Bruce is like this with his back to the rest of the living area and kitchen wall with the TV up there, and the box is behind him. And we take it out and admire it and say, I'll take one. It was a good price. And I came in after everybody was gone. I said, can I take a look, Bruce? Chief? And he said, sure. And I picked it up, but I had gone in and found a bottle, glass bottle, and wrapped it up in plastic, really, really good, right? So I picked it up and I said, oh, look at this. This looks like just like, oh, Jesus, whoops. And I threw the bag down with a glass bottle. Your dad, his head just went, I just saw the back of it, but his head just went, Jesus Christ, Hanson. But he was quite the guy.
Yeah, he sure was. I miss him.
Yeah, I'll bet you.
Yeah, it reminds me, I was telling a story earlier about going to help him get up because he'd fallen when he was getting up to go pee. Anyways, he had a cart that he drove around the neighborhood. It was a big cart because he's a big man. And he didn't let him stay at home all the time. So he got this cart. Well, the neighbor lady who he'd known for years, she decided that she would like to be able to go karting with him. So she got a cart too. So they both of them have carts. We're in the fire station the one day in his district, and he's driving by the fire hall. If he didn't decide to come in, drop in to say hi. So he came in, but the neighbor lady, she stayed out by the road, out the sidewalk. She was a little shy or nervous or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, he came in. He was very forward.
They're on their carts, right?
On their carts, out for a little roll, I guess you call it, or whatever you call it, not a stroll. Anyhow, he comes in, and we're talking, small talk, but I had training going on, so I cut him off kind of short, sent him on his way, so he was a little pissed off, but I sent him out, but you know what? Life goes on. Anyways, and the last thing I see was the two of them heading up the street on the sidewalk with their carts.
Syphilitic asshole.
Yeah. Anyways, we go back to training and just get started. Like he'd only been gone maybe 2 minutes at the most, and the lights come on, tones come in. Report of a large man fallen. What the? My dad's address comes in. Of course, the guys have already been there the one time with, picking him up off the floor. So they know it's my dad. We roll up, and there he is. He's in the laneway. He's fallen off his cart. He's lying on the side with the cart, still sitting in the cart seat. He can't move. And I said to him, I said, what the hell are you... I said, this isn't your cart, it's Pat's. I said, you're not supposed to be driving her cart. And now you got to understand, Pat, the neighbor lady, is 140 pounds soaking wet. My dad's 365 pounds. Well, she said the suspension wasn't working right, so she said, I thought I figured I'd take her for a little scooter around the laneway and see if there's something wrong with the suspension. I said, well, it's not designed for your weight. So anyways, I got the guys together and we picked the Bruce up, straightened him up, cart and all, put him back on his wheels. I see the little trickle of blood running down his eye.
Was the cart damaged at all?
The cart wasn't damaged, but I look at the planter and he hit his head on the planter, a great big pot out in the laneway with a plant in it. And he cracked it and all the dirt.
What, his head?
With his head.
Yeah.
If he hit anything else, he would have broke.
What was it made of? Cement?
No, that was a clay.
Clay. Oh, okay. So, yeah.
It's still pretty hard.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
paramedics showed up. I said, do you want the paramedics here or do you want me to send them back? Oh, get them out of here. Jesus Christ, I don't need this. And I said, well, first of all, what are you doing on Pat's cart? I said, it's not designed for your weight. Oh, talk to me about it. He said there's something wrong with it. Anyways, he said, I just figured I'd check it out. Anyhow, yeah, Big Bruce to the rescue.
Yeah, he was a true legend. I remember the story that you tell about towards the end there, where he was having a hard time around the house. You were there and was going to help him sit on the toilet to have a pee.
Well, he said to me, can you help me in the bathroom? He said, I can't sit down. He said, every time I sit down, he said, I sort of fall and I'm crooked on the toilet. You're kidding me. He said, no, I'm not.
That's where they have those extenders, right?
Well, they had them, but he didn't have it.
No, of course he wouldn't use that.
Anyways, I said, yeah, all right. So I take him into the bathroom and I hold on to his wrist and I lower him back onto the toilet.
Sort of like this.
And he said, I'll let you know when I'm done. He said, you have to help me up. And I'm like, oh, geez, great. I said, you got to do this to go pee? He said, yeah. He said, so I can direct it right. Right. So I lower him down and I just close the bathroom door and I hear, Doug! Yeah, Doug! And I'm like, what the hell's going on, Bruce? I open the door up. He said, what? I said, what are you, you're not done yet. And he said, no, I'm sitting on my nuts. Somehow he got in his nuts caught between the toilet seat and the toilet, and they were purple. They were turning purple. Anyways, I had to lift him up and get his nuts out and drop him in the water to cool him off, and then he finished his pee. Anyways, yeah, Big Bruce.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a good ending to today's story. Thanks for coming out to Firehouse Stories. If you like us, share us, press the subscribe button. It'd be nice to see you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.